Yeah, hi everybody. Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. We're going to do our viewer's voice. CT. 23 hours ago, I've been busy. I've had to run around and get scaffold and stuff for this job we're doing, and that's okay. I've been busy, but I've been busting to get back to you. Where's Jehovah when you need him? Well, who knows? Just look to Christ. Just look to the Lord Jesus Christ. Jehovah's Witnesses preach that God will try all forms of governments, will destroy all forms of governments, but they're handy to have around when you need them. Are the contradictions of the Watchtower and the Jehovah's Witnesses. They said they didn't have their business cards. It's unprofessional for a cop not to have plenty of cards, much less to not having them at all at the same time. They looked nervous instead of in control. There was something, Danny Casey, very suspicious about those two women. I hope we hear more about that. Danny Casey, I will subscribe. He is very needed by young JWs to help them get out before they've wasted all their youth in the cult. That's young Damo, isn't it? He's unreal, Damo. Gee, he's good. That young fella, he's so good. I'll get myself out of the way. Bit of a new setup, viewers. We're working on it. We've got another machine, but we're having some audio problems with it. Just trying to get stuff up quicker. We've got, here she is, Jenny B. Jenny B 52, one of my favourites. A wonderful prayer and great segment. Let's hope everyone around the world comes out of these evil cults. Good on you, Jenny. She's right. He is smart, cute, and hopefully he can reach many his age. That's right, that's young Damo. Damo Highland. The Christian Comedy Channel now. I was just watching the Christian Comedy Channel. This guy's really, he is good. At the start, you said that JWs teach that the New Testament is only for 144,000. Do you have a reference for that, please? Where in the literature does it say that the New Testament isn't for ordinary people and the Old Testament isn't for them either? Now, I don't know who he's talking to, because none of us believe that. None of us believe that nonsense. Now, just for the Christian Comedy Channel, I'm sure he's aware of this. I follow that Jesus died on the cross. He went up, was ascended into his priesthood ministry. And then we go through the church age. Then we come to the tribulation. Now you've got the end of the church age where we have the rapture and everybody meets at the judgment seat of Christ. Now, this includes both the dead first and the living will meet the Lord in the air, and then they'll ascend up to the judgment seat of Christ and the marriage supper of the Lamb and so forth. Excuse me, viewers. Then we've got the first half of the tribulation. And then at some point in here, I can't see it. I must be going blind or something. But the 144,000 are, I believe, Jews that are released to come down and do a final reaping in the second half of the tribulation. And up they'll go. They come down and help find as many souls as they can before the tribulation ends. Up they go at the end of the Battle of Armageddon when Jesus returns. That ends Armageddon. And up all the tribulation saints go to meet with the church, and Jesus reigns in the millennium, and the Jehovah's Witnesses end up at a barbecue, which they don't know about, because the earth will be destroyed by fire. Oh, gee, the Jehovah's Witness doctrine makes me mad. But the 144,000 are involved in this last end time reaping of the souls, the end of the tribulation there, just before the Battle of Armageddon and the end of Armageddon when Jesus himself saves Israel. Now let me go back to my viewers' comments. I don't have a reference for that, mate, because I don't believe that. Roger Smith, well done. It's going to be a losing battle for the Borg. The numbers just keep falling, and they do. Roger Smith, I'm now getting out and living. Remember Psalm 83:18. Jehovah says he's the most high ruler of the earth. That has been identified as Satan. Jehovah makes no claim. He is the Most High of the heavens. See, free yourselves. So free yourselves from slavery. Lisa L. Osborne, is that really Stuart's phone number? No, apparently it's not. The elders are very unprofessional. God's servants, my ass, they are jerks. Here, Lisa. Here. Forgot to tick those off. Dawn Ross. Alan Lamilt. So did... hang on. This must be something. Right. Dawn Watch. I remember watching this a while back. I was so impressed that Stuart kept his cool. So was I. Thanks. They do put our cool to the test. XJW. At least you got away with that liaison with that married sister. Alan, so did JM send you. You think we'll be shocked that Stuart might be an imperfect human? I'm not shocked by that. I am shocked that you make it your mission in life to slander him. Okay. Dawn Ross, interesting info on the thorny issue. Thank you. I think you should be free to exercise your religious beliefs. The problem arises when those beliefs harm others. You should not be free to harm others, especially minors, even if they're your children. We don't want to end up living in a big brother situation, either, though it's complicated. Just want to read this one again. The phone rang. Interesting info on the thorny issue. Thank you. I think you should be free to exercise your religious beliefs. The problem arises when those beliefs harm others. You should not be free to harm others. Amen to that. Especially minors if they're your children. We don't want to end up living in a big brother situation either, though. It's complicated. It is complicated. Love your enthusiasm. Thank you. MS Bitteth. These C's look fully cangering like deer in headlights. Stupid pedophile protectors. As a molested child of JW twins, I recognise two of these men as being pedophiles. You never ever forget the eyes. Oh gosh. Wow. The phone number is already turned off. Right. Stupid C's trying to use theocratic tact on a bro. They are arse-tards, pedos, all of them. Green Goddess. He's good, isn't he? Guess they try to indoctrinate and play God with the wrong guy. Right, now we've got JW blah blah blah. He talks to himself. Okay. Hey Pro Theologist, thanks for the shout out. Negative or positive comments is okay with me. And me, mate. Obviously you're the latter. But in your eyes, I can't be negative or critical towards Stuart or your comments. You failed to address the fact you likened Stuart to the Apostle. I sure did, and I will again. Stuart's no different to the Apostle Paul. I'll say it again, just so you get it. What Stuart's doing is no different to what the Apostle Paul did. And if you didn't get it that time, I'll say it again. JW blah, blah, blah. Stuart's work is no different to the Apostle Paul's or any other apostles in ancient time or modern time. And he is an evangelist, a person who seeks to convert others to the Christian faith. Well, it's real difficult, isn't it, if you're dealing with Jehovah's Witnesses, especially by public preaching. Go figure. And what's BWT mean? By the way. Oh, and by the way, I still believe you're a racist by your comments. Poor excuse. Oh, well, whatever you think, mate. I'm not interested in the conclusions you want to jump to. Redeem yourself. Call a black guy in the States a gorilla. You're being a ridiculed racist. And the phone rang again. Redeem yourself. Call a black guy. I don't call them black people, by the way, JW blah, blah, blah. I call them dark people. In the States a gorilla. You'd be ridiculed a racist. Well, each for his own. Mate, each for his own. Couldn't be bothered with these types of, they're trying to find things that aren't there. Venora Moon, viewer's voice. Green Goddess, amen. It's so true that Watchtower uses Jehovah as a shield from Jesus Christ. Isn't that bizarre? It's the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing, isn't it? They do not want you to know Jesus. Jehovah is God's name, but they use that name as a smokescreen to promote their agenda. They are no more a religion than a circus, and I fully agree. It's a circus. How about stopping the felony of child rape or money laundering or fraud or much more criminality activity. I hope they do. They're trying to. Here's JW blah 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 again. Blah blah. Viewer's voice. JW blah blah blah. You know, as a JW, you are taught not to be here at this website because you are not an associate with apostates. However, your being here shows you are uncertain and searching. Oh, is JW blah 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 a JW? Oh, I didn't know he was. However, your being here shows you are uncertain and searching. Look at Venora Moons onto this bloke. Keep searching and you will find what you've been looking for. Good on you, Venora. So, Venora, do you think JW blah 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 is a JW? I didn't know. Let's see what he says. JW blah 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 blah. Wow, here we go again. Just because I disagree with about 2% of XJ-dubs, that makes me a Jehovah's Witnesses. Wow, really? You're so wrong with your assumption. Okay, so he's not a J-dub. Okay, JW blah 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 is not a J-dub. But Venora, I stand corrected and owe you an apology. Good on you, Venora. I sincerely apologise for my assumption. Thank you for your correction. Very good. JW blah blah blah. Apology accepted, my friend. God bless you. I know the tat for over 5. What's the tat? With JW blah blah blah. What's the tat in your next comment? Just so I know. For over 5 years. Okay, it must be something important. I'm sorry for my comments offended you towards pro-theologists. It's not my intention to offend XJ-dubs. Don't forget I'm one myself. It's between him and me. Oh, JW blah blah blah. I ain't got time to tussle and rustle with people over nonsensicals, okay? But I'm glad you're on the page and I hope you've subscribed. Venora Moon, thank you. There is really no hate here or racism. That's right. I cannot see the colours here, but I love all of you here. We really are a family here and suffering from being a prior J-dub. Just know you are loved. Oh, all colours are beautiful. I don't just love white roses. I love them all. JW blah blah blah. I love you too, Venora Moon. May the peace and love of God be with you. And with you, JW blah blah blah. Venora Moon, kiss, hug, kiss. Right, okay, so we got through that. Venora Moon, thank you for the time and the occasional prayer like for Dawn. So all of us can come together and through prayer help one another. T, we all are struggling, whether it be with our faith or personal trials. To know that we are in this struggle called life together really helps. You don't feel so alone. That's right. Venora Moon, the elders meeting. Notice, and this is for everyone everywhere in the world, the setting is the same for all judicial disfellowship meetings. The elders call a meeting, date and time. Once you arrive, there are 3 elders to 1 person to be disfellowshipped. They use intimidation tactics. You would think they were government officials or something. Well, they think they are, but they're not. You are not allowed to record or video the meeting for the protection of yourself. If you try, they will discontinue the meeting and escort you out. The room in which they hold the meeting is always a very small and stark room. The elders thrive and must feel in control at all times. Looking at them, they are such small and little men. It is like children playing with a game of kings and subjects. Very small men. It's horrible, isn't it? Rita Malik. Jehovah said to reproduce and fill the earth. Where are children banned? I don't know. I really don't know. Anglo-Scottish as a true pagan. The government worlds are not going after the watchtower of Jehovah's Witnesses. For what I know and heard, it is the XJW individuals as a whole who are forcing the governments to go after the org itself, i.e. lawsuits. Great viewer's voice, the latest one. Hails to you, pro-theologists. Thank you. Anglo-Scottish as a true pagan. Green Goddess, lots of laughs. Sandpaper, great analogy. Just what being in the org feels like. Ha. Staying too long, your skin will rub off. Have a great day. You too. Anglo-Scottish, Ashertruth Pagan. The Russell bloodline is much darker than most know. Even though the Watchtower has many published books that they don't want their own followers to know, they, the governing body, rarely use the Bible or not at all. However, this is nothing. Given the fact that they have secret connections, disclaimers, this content may trigger those who don't want to hear the truth, so stop here. Content length, 30 minutes, 17 seconds. Title, A False Religion, Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's a documentary. Let's have a look. Spy cat, small cat. No, we'll go up.
Hello, Spike in here with another eye-opening expose. In today's video, I want to share with you all the satanic cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, who pose a great danger to us all and are handing over souls to Satan.
Make sure you subscribe to this channel.
But before I truly dive into the topic head on, I want to let everyone know the roots and the birthplace of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, which is more commonly known as the Jehovah's Witnesses. The origin of the Jehovah's Witnesses, along with the Seventh-day Adventists and both of their founders, Charles Taze Russell and Ellen G. White, all go back to something called the Millerite movement. Now, the Millerite movement was established by William Miller, who firmly believed that Jesus Christ would return in the year of 1843, and that shortly thereafter, Armageddon will begin. But when Jesus Christ did not return that exact year, the date was then further recalculated to March of 1844, and then again to October of 1844. Unsurprisingly, when Jesus did not return in October of 1844 as well, this date became known as the Great Disappointment. It became a major event in the history of the Millerite movement. The failure of this 1844 prophecy led to countless acts of violence against the Millerites, including the burning of churches, mob violence, and even murder. Miller and the Millerites were left as a disappointed and a shattered people. So let's shift to another very important person in our story. I will introduce to you Miss Ellen G. White. Now, Ellen G. White originally came from a family of Methodists. But when she was 9 years old, she was struck in the face by a rock that was thrown by a student at her school. She was left disfigured. She went into a coma for 3 weeks, and for her entire life, she suffered from various health problems, including nervousness, tremors, and seizures. Then, during the 1840s, her family became involved with the Millerite movement, the same as Russell would later. But White's earlier accident, in addition to the health problems it caused, also caused her to enter into visions. She herself even said that it was that exact blow to the head which allowed her to see things in heaven and to even speak with Jesus Christ. In 1844, one of the original dates is when Ellen G. White had her very first vision. In this vision, it was explained to her that 1844 was not a failure at all, and that in fact, it marked the very beginning of a special time for preparation. She was told that it was a new era and a new eon, the one that would lead to the true coming of Christ. During this vision, she was told that upon Armageddon, it was only the Seventh-day Adventist people who would be allowed into the New Jerusalem, and that all of the outsiders will be destroyed. And she was also given a new date for Jesus Christ's return to earth, which would be 1874. It was said that she had over 2,000 of different kinds of visions. So what were they like? Well, she would go into a trance, she would begin shouting the word glory, and would shout it 3 times. Then she would fall to the floor if no one would be there to catch her. And during this time, she would lay with her eyes open, completely oblivious as to what was going on around her. Sometimes, upon returning from her trance states, she would remain blind for days. Now, during these trances, she learned many things. And one of the most interesting was that at the end times, during the final confrontation with Satan, all of the sins of mankind in this world would be placed upon the devil himself, and that he would then be plunged into the lake of fire. This, of course, directly contradicts the idea that the sins of the world were actually placed upon Jesus Christ. In fact, under her theology, Satan is taking the place of Jesus Christ himself, and Charles Taze Russell couldn't agree more with her teachings. Now, you might be asking yourself, how does all of this tie into the Jehovah's Witness Watchtower Society? Well, Charles Taze Russell was born on February 16 of 1852 in Pennsylvania, and it is in fact he who founded the Jehovah's Witness organization. Note that he was born after the 1844 Millerite prophecy. So when Charles was 18, he encountered Seventh-day Adventist preaching, that of Ellen G. White, and he began to regularly attend her Bible studies. It was not long before he determined that he could not reconcile an eternal hell with a merciful God, leading to the Jehovah's Witness belief of a no hell fire. And over the next 2 years, Russell came to question many other historic Christian doctrines, and he became convinced that the historic creeds betrayed what he called true Christianity. At the same time, he was heavily influenced by and adopted the Seventh-day Adventist teachings of Ellen G. White that in fact all originally came from the Millerite movement. Charles Taze Russell came to strictly believe that the end times had already begun in 1799, that Jesus Christ had returned invisibly in 1874, and that 1914 marked the beginning of Armageddon and was going to be the end of the world. So, just like his predecessors before Charles Taze, the year 1914 became his very version of the end of the world prophecy that obviously never came true. Shortly after, Charles Taze Russell died on October 31st of 1916 at the age of 64, achieving the deceptive agenda through his occult and Freemasonic beliefs. In fact, upon Russell's death, he was buried in Rosemont United Cemetery in Pittsburgh. His gravesite is marked by a headstone, and on top of his grave stands a 7-foot-tall pyramid memorial that was erected by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, aka the Jehovah's Witnesses themselves. And if you look closely on the pyramid, you will discover the Freemasonic sign of the cross through the crown, just like the ones on his earlier versions and publications of his Watchtower magazines. The crazy thing is, Russell even admitted to being a Freemason himself. Check out these quotes that came out straight from the horse's mouth itself. Charles Taze Russell, the father and the founder of the Jehovah's Witness Institution and the founder of the blasphemous Watchtower magazine, is indeed a false teacher. Not only is Charles Taze Russell a Freemason, but he has also been linked to a satanic bloodline that was operating with key political and worldly figures, whose agenda has been to bring about the New World Order. We all know how important the bloodline was to Jesus Christ through David, but there is also a great importance to the bloodline of Satan, who will bring about the Antichrist through the New World Order. And of course, Russell would...
Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like. Maybe even comment. If you watch it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching and bye for now.